All right, so what's going on, everybody? It's JA. Salute to you for tuning in. We got a good one today. October is right around the corner, which means the fourth quarter of 2024 is right upon us. So, of course, you already know Adidas, they're looking to finish off the year very strong. They're actually going to be introducing some new products to the market. We're going to see the return of Fear of God Athletics, and we got some weird activity going on with the leftover Yeezys. Plus, it looks like resellers, they're looking to ruin the return of this Nike Grail. So stay tuned, guys. We got all that plus more, but it's Monday. We got to kick things off with this week's sneaker releases, which, as I mentioned, they are Adidas. They're looking to kick things off very strong. Actually, today we have them releasing the Climacool, which apparently is a fully 3D printed model. Previously, I kind of spoke on the natural evolution of this model throughout the years, which kind of started off with the Adifoam Q to what we have now with the Adi Climacool 2024. So as far as this pair right here, it seems like Adidas has very big plans for this release. We did see them gift out various pairs to different influencers, which I'm not even gonna lie, none of those really actually sold me on this pair, as I even saw one dude like rocking these joints with no socks, which to me is a super red flag. But as far as this pair right here, they did choose a very interesting release strategy, which it looks like these joints did go up for pre-order today via the Adidas Confirmed app. So they are asking $140 for these, and apparently pairs will ship out like late October. So very interesting release, a pair which I feel like, of course, based off this audience, will draw many comparisons to the Yeezy Foam Runner, and I would say rightfully so. You know, you have a fully 3D printed model right here, which draws a lot of comparisons, but as far as this pair, it does kind of do its own little thing or whatever. So I think these joints are okay or whatever, but I would say definitely as far as the Foam Runner models like that, definitely ushered in like that whole new wave of futuristic footwear. So if it wasn't for the Foam Runner, we probably wouldn't see Adidas pushing a model such as these. Now, next up, again from Adidas, we have the Adizero Aruku, I believe is how you say it. I don't really know, y'all, my bad, but these joints are gonna be dropping coming up on the 1st, which they're asking $140 for these right here. Now, if y'all remember, Adidas kind of did like a little soft launch introducing these, as rapper Gunna actually was the first to rock these, which of course, you know, ushered in a whole bunch of jokes and everything like that. But as far as this pair right here, it looks like this will be the first of 2 colorways, which Adidas has many new colorways planned for these to drop come 2025. So this is an interesting one. It seems like what they're kind of doing here is they're taking the running sole from the Adizero model, infusing it kind of with like a more lifestyle upper, especially with the colorways that they chose right here. So interesting take. I would say these definitely look comfortable, and we'll see people rocking these on feet next year. So interesting one. One that I feel like maybe everybody isn't gonna love, but then again, you do have to give Adidas props for innovating, putting new product out in the streets, whereas you would say their direct competitor, Nike, that's been one of their biggest criticisms. Now, also coming up on the 1st, we have the Adidas Crazy 8 Low, which will be dropping in various different colorways representing various HBCU schools. So as far as this model right here, I'm a fan. I enjoy the Crazy 8 in low top form. As far as them dropping them with the various HBCU schools, I'm not mad at it. I think it's a cool way to bring some new colorways to the market and bring something cool to the table for collectors who maybe want to pick up different school representative pairs. So these are going to be dropping for $120 via Adidas coming up October 1st. And while I can't really say too many bad things about this, I feel like maybe the only negative towards these releases is that they don't have the official Kobe stamp on them or whatever. Now, next up, also on the 1st, we have the Jordan 1 Paris Saint-Germain, which of course we've been seeing them teaming up with the football team, dropping various pairs to represent what's going on over there. So as far as this one right here, I would say it's not like a super highly anticipated release, but I'm sure these will be dropping in limited availability. So this is a nice one for those Jordan connoisseurs which are looking to get something a little different than just your typical Jordan 1. So be on the lookout for these, which will be hitting the sneakers app for a retail of $150. Now, next up on the 3rd, we got the return of the KD4 Pearl, which Nike's asking $130 for these, which we haven't seen an official announcement yet, but I'm seeing many sneaker blogs actually reporting this release for the 3rd. So as far as this pair right here, as I mentioned, it's kind of one of those classics from that like golden era of Nike basketball, as many sneaker enthusiasts would say. But I would have to say, for me personally, like when these joints originally released, you know, I was kind of like in my own little lane. I was doing nothing but Jordan retros and kind of ignored that whole Nike basketball wave. So for me, there's really no nostalgia, you know, kind of like tied towards this certain release. But I would have to say though that when these did drop, these were kind of like one of the standout KD releases in my opinion, representative of his late aunt. So be on the lookout for these, which apparently will be dropping on the 3rd for a retail of $130. Let me know if you guys are excited to see those return. I feel like as far as these classic KDs coming back, it's been a little bit quiet. Now also on the 3rd, we will see the SB Dunk Low Light Carbon. As far as this pair right here, not really any hype surrounding this. I feel like this is one for like the hardcore skaters or whatever, you know, the diehard SB fans. So we'll see these hitting the sneakers app, retailing at $115. Now coming up on Friday, we got to call this Nigo day because we got the Nigo Air Force 3 dropping, which will be releasing alongside a full apparel collection. We did see the Friends and Family Air Force 3 kick off this past weekend with a little soft launch in New York City, but now this will be the wider release for everybody coming up here on the 4th, which Nike is asking $160, which as far as the kind of reception to this pair, it feels like OGs are really rocking with these, but like the new kids are just calling these the rainbow joints. Now, coming up also on the 4th, a more low-key, definitely more under the radar pair, which we have from Reebok in the Premier Road Modern, which they've actually teamed up with retailer Packer for this collaboration. Now, Packer, I would say they definitely have an eye when it comes to their collaborations. They usually like to go back in a collaborator's archive, usually bring out a model that we haven't seen in a while. So as far as the Premier Road Modern, this is one of those models which kind of like in the early 2000s, of course, it comes from like that Y2K runner type of vibe. So this is their offering from that category. We did see Reebok actually bring these back in like the early, or I should say like 2020, something like that. So kind of taking a page out of the New Balance book, taking a retro model from the early 2000s, giving it some updates, throwing it back into the market. And as far as the Packer collaboration, I feel like there's some great tastemakers. The colorways here are a nice pair right here for the upcoming fall season. I would so say that the asking price though is a little bit high, coming in at $220. Let me know what y'all think. Now for Saturday, we got New Balance jumping into the mix here with the 1906A. Of course, as y'all see, this is the triple black colorway. So New Balance doing a lot of different things with the popular 1906 model. I just showed you guys the 1906L loafer, and then now we have the 1906A, which comes from the archive. So as far as the 1906A, this is where New Balance will take some of their previous design elements from other archive models, throw it on the 1906. As far as the vibe they're going here for is more of like a Japanese streetwear tech type of vibe. So be on the lookout for these hitting New Balance, which they're asking $170 for these, and I might actually try to do a little review on those. And then on Saturday, we have the latest release of the AE1, which right now is tentatively called Preloved Purple, but as you guys know, once Adidas officially announces these midweek, we'll see like a probably completely different name. But what you have here is just another take on the popular AE1 with this kind of purple upper on here. I would say for me, not a must have, but if you have never tried a pair of this model, I would definitely recommend grabbing a pair of these, which will be dropping Saturday for $120. And that's what we have for this week. Oh, except for Jordan Brand, they're throwing in a little curveball here for Saturday, which they're dropping the women's Satin Shadow, which they're asking $180 for these. And with the current state of the Jordan 1 right now, especially with these satin releases, you can most definitely expect for this pair to sit. So this is just some of the many pairs releasing this week. I'm sure we'll see some surprises pop up here and there, but from what we know of so far, let me know if you guys are checking for any of these pairs. And as far as that first surprise, here we go. We got Adidas bringing back the Fear of God Athletics, the once highly anticipated collaboration. I would say anytime somebody mentions Fear of God Athletics now, is generally going to be received with like some negative criticism, which we've talked about in depth, you know, in a bunch of previous videos. So we're not going to get into all of the negatives here. But as far as this drop coming up, which is scheduled for the 3rd, we're going to see apparel releasing alongside what looks to be just 2 new footwear options. So you have 2 colorways of the new Fear of God Athletics Los Angeles Hiker, which essentially what it looks like just off the first glance is you have like a boot version of the Fear of God Los Angeles, but based off the specifications, it does read full premium wash suede upper, full rubber outdoor inspired outsole, Adidas logo embossed on toe and heel, Fear of God logos on black bar imported. So interesting, right? So they're asking $220 for these. You have the black or white option available, so be on the lookout for these joints coming alongside the clothing collection, which includes some $300 track pants. You got a half zip up retailing at $350, some $180 leggings, plus more, even $160 women's crop top. So I think we're gonna see a lot of people complaining about these prices, but I would say as far as the designs, pretty progressive as far as the cuts and everything. Not bad, but I just say wouldn't probably be warranted that price tag. So I guess be on the lookout for this Fear of God collection, which the last collection Adidas did actually have to heavily discount. So I would say as far as the rollout for this next one is kind of quiet for these right here. Now, speaking of Adidas collaborators, we got a little bit of activity going on behind the scenes with Yeezy. So of course we know things have been very quiet over here for Adidas and Yeezy here in the States, as Yeezys were completely removed from the Confirmed app as well as Adidas.com recently, but they are still available in different regions across the world, which includes Canada, which have been having a couple of different restocks here and there. It looks like today we did get some interesting activity as some pairs were additionally discounted. So not anything noteworthy to mention as far as these specific pairs, but we did see the Yeezy Quantum discounted down to 75% off, which I feel like would be an all-time low for Adidas Canada, bringing them down to around the equivalent to around like $60 US. So I would say not a bad price for a model, which originally came in at what were them joints, $250 when they originally came out? I would say not too bad. And as far as Yeezy resale prices via the secondary market, we are starting to see prices go up, which is kind of crazy because these pairs have been heavily discounted, which means resellers got some pretty huge margins available on these pairs right here. So we'll see what Adidas plans to do with Yeezys. It was originally reported that they did have plans for a fourth quarter drop, but with releases such as this still going on in certain regions across the world, will there be any pairs left over for a fourth quarter drop? Of course, we'll have to wait and see. Now, as far as Ye himself, the Yeezy creator, he's been doing big things. He did recently have the China listening event, and it looks like he did have a follow-up listening experience over the weekend, which unfortunately, it didn't include an official live stream. We didn't see any new merch other than the stuff that was available previously, China exclusive. But what we did get is a really cool performance. I was able to catch some of the TikTok people streaming it or whatever from the event. He did premiere some new records. We had some real nice soul sample chop ups, that oh yeah type of vibe. And on top of everything, he did announce a new album. So that's something very cool to look forward to if you're a Ye fan. And I'm just gonna say, bruh, spirits definitely look great. He looks to be in good shape right now. So as far as the future of Ye and Yeezy, things are looking very hopeful. So I wonder what city he'll be coming to next for his listening experience. Or I guess I should actually say what country. And as far as these listening experiences, I'm loving what's going on right now. It gives him a chance to kind of like preview new music that's being worked on in anticipation for the next upcoming project. And on top of these listening experiences, I know Ye wants to kind of keep the whole music and fashion thing separate, but what I would like to see in the future is like once they have products ready to hit the market, use these listening experiences, you know, as like a almost like live runway show, kind of like what he did in the past with listening experiences. Say for example like Yeezy Season 3, how it premiered alongside the Life of Pablo album or something like that. I think that would be something cool to look forward to in the future. But as far as Yeezy, I think things are looking on the up. Now before we head up out of here, lastly I did want to talk about these dunks, the Wu-Tang dunks or whatever. We know Nike has big plans to bring back a lot of classics out the vault come next year, which is nothing new for Nike, as you know they like to bring back a lot of their retro models. But as far as bringing off these kind of like odd one-off collaborations, I would say it is kind of strange. So we did see Nike hit us with a little shock drop on these joints, I guess what, like last weekend or something, with like a midnight scheduled shock drop. They had like less than 2,000 pairs available. People were all thrown off, caught off guard. And it looks like as far as these dunks right here, resale prices are going absolutely crazy on these right here. So it looks like resellers are looking to ruin the return of a classic. I think a lot of like old school diehard sneakerheads that really know the history and the lineage and everything like that and the stories surrounding these Wu-Tangs were, you know, really happy to see these come back at a chance to be able to grab a grail such as. But as you guys know, whenever resellers see a profit margin, they can really care less about the history and how y'all feel. they're looking to scalp and middleman and make a little dollar off of your passion for sneakers. And with the holiday season coming right around the corner, you know, that scalping business is gonna be at an all-time high. So it looks like, unfortunately, you guys have no chance to get these, as these have very high resale value via the secondary market. I was thinking that possibly nobody would really care about the history about these. We would have maybe like another Terror Squad, Air Force One situation where the kids and resellers could care less about these, but it looks like, unfortunately, y'all, that is not the case, as it looks like these Wu-Tang Dunks are already bringing in like $600, $700 via the secondary market. So you guys already know what time it is. But as far as the official launch, apparently these joints may be dropping today or sometime this week, as it looks like they will be dropping via the Wu-Tang site, and then maybe possibly we'll see a wider release via the sneakers app later down the line. So let me know if you guys are checking for that pair, or if you really could care less about those, because I would say really don't count on it, as it looks like resellers are looking to manipulate them joints right there. So as we head up out of here, of course, if you guys haven't noticed, I've been doing some different little sneaker reviews, trying to bring that vibe back to the channel. You know, I'm always over here yapping, running my mouth all day about sneakers, so I felt like if I'm yapping about these shoes all day, I gotta have them, you know, to show you guys the reviews and get a little feel for them on feet and everything like that. I can't just be doing all the yapping without showing the sneakers. So I haven't really brought anything like crazy hype to the table. I'm looking for more of like the low-key pairs that you probably won't see on your typical sneaker YouTubers page or whatever. So if you guys are rocking with those, you know, please help support the channel. If you missed out on any of those videos, which I'm kind of experimenting right now, so the views are going to be a little bit lower than usual, but make sure you guys go ahead and check out some of those pairs. There are probably some sneakers that you really aren't going to see popping up here and there, and something that you actually may enjoy, something a little low-key, not something super hype or whatever, but just some cool low-key pairs like that. So if you guys want to see the low-key sneaker reviews, make sure y'all smash the like button, and you guys got to support those videos. So if you missed out on them, go ahead and check out. We do have looks like 2 more reviews coming up this week, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully a lot more in the future if you guys can show some support. So that's what we got for today as far as what we got dropping this week. Also talked about the Wu-Tang Dunk situation and Adidas' big plans for the 4th quarter, so we'll see what they decide to do with all those leftover Yeezys, if there even is any more pairs left over. So that's all I got for you guys today on this wonderful Monday. I'm J.A. Please drop your feedback down below. Make sure y'all smash the like button, and if you haven't done so yet and you've been watching the videos, why not go ahead and subscribe? Come along for the journey. So I appreciate y'all. Till next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'm out, y'all. Love.